So go on. What was it you were saying? An automatic imagination model.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a.
It's a winky-wanky title
hacking. Okay.
to be able to repackage a load of bullshit on a DVD and make money out of it, selling crap to young wannabe hypnotists who are mainly in the magical and mentalism market, who don't realise they're being sold snake oil that's complete and utter cobblers. That's what it is.
Well, I'm glad we had that discussion then.
Tattoo under hypnosis. I can do that.
And the entire product boils down to telling people to imagine things as if. And that sooner or later, because they're imagining it as if, that then it will become their reality.
Oh, good.
Well, guess what? If you've actually studied hypnosis and you believe it exists, then that's what it is. It's just repackaged, given a different name, and some of the good bits that actually make hypnosis work have been taken out. Much like NLP, where the good bits of hypnosis have been removed to sell something so that Mr. Bundler and Grinder could, as it were, make money in an area of America where hypnosis was not allowed. So we had to give it another name so that it could do things. So, yeah, I suppose that leads, automatic imagination model, the bullshit that is, leads in quite nicely to what I'm here to upset people with for about half an hour. Namely, the fact that, despite the fact for over 25 years I've travelled the world, appeared on hundreds of TV shows, hypnotised, that's the definition the dictionary would say, hypnotised numerous celebrities, sporting teams, helped football teams in England get into the Premier League, and all that kind of bullshit that's on my resume at magicalguru.com that is provable that I've done, including teaching thousands upon thousands of people around the world how to allegedly hypnotise people to change their lives for the better or make them do stupid things on stage. Despite the fact that I've done all that over the past 25 years, I've consistently always stated, and still do to this day, that hypnosis is nothing more than, it doesn't exist. It's nothing more than the placebo effect combined with effective use of snake oil. And by snake oil, I mean...
Isn't the placebo effect actually hypnosis? I mean, isn't that the science of suggestion, the placebo effect? So what you're saying is that something doesn't... You're saying... I'm not going to use this word for it, but this is what it is. But it's this word for it that I'm not going to use. So, I mean,
no.
If we get exactly why you're... What it sounds to me is like that's your spiel for just your marketing. This is my marketing.
So no. Let me continue. So
I can strum up some controversy and even though I'm doing the exact same thing as everybody else.
No, definitely not.
I love that your picture froze with your mouth.
It's more the case that everyone else, when they're getting results, is doing the same as I teach my students. It's just that they can't agree or accept that because of cognitive dissonance that stops them from admitting it's all bullshit and ritual. Because if they were to admit that, they have to also then admit the fact that they've wasted thousands and thousands of pounds on long drawn-out bullshit courses to learn winky-wanky terms like in NLP, modelling, reframing, all this shit. It's cobblers. The truth of the matter is nobody who ever went to see a hypnotherapist ever stopped smoking, lost weight, gained confidence, overcame any phobia unless they actually wanted to.
Of course.
All the therapists, but that is why hypnosis doesn't exist. All the therapist does is provide a wonderful excuse for the client to change. All the
argument is fallacy. You have a fallacy of logic in your argument.
Well, you haven't let me finish, that's why. It's not a fallacy when I've arguably taught more people around the world who are now successful hypnotists, who will choose to use that title, who use the exact same system that I teach, whereby, ultimately, they go in knowing it does not matter one blind bit whether somebody is in a light trance, deep trance, medium trance, cataleptic trance, fucking coma trance, call it what you will, it doesn't matter. If they close their eyes when you tell them to and keep them closed, just so long as you keep your eyes tightly closed at all times, unless I say otherwise, then this will work for you, then guess what? As long as you're charging them enough money, as long as your advertising on your website has already instilled into that person the belief that coming to you and paying $500, $1,000 or whatever, most therapists do not charge anywhere near enough, but that's a side issue. The more you charge, the quicker, easier and more rapid the change will occur and the longer it will last. Because the moment that person makes a financial commitment, as well as shows up, because by showing up, they've decided this is the time for change. Unless they've been pushed into it by the husband or wife, then that's a different matter. But that's where people who are going about this ethically would use something like a pre-session questionnaire to filter out the people who are not truly ready for change. Because, you know, I teach people, don't even bother getting someone in front of you who is not truly ready for change, because the fact is they won't change if they're just showing up because the wife is nagging them or such like. When they do,
I will agree with you 100% on that one. When people sign up for
and the fact so that's stage one we agree on.
I tell them if you're not ready, I'm kicking you out. I'm not charging you. You're done. Come back when you're ready. If you don't want
come back when you're ready.
But see, the distinction I make, I'm not disagreeing with you 100%. But the distinction I make that you maybe don't is I'm distinguishing between whether the person has a conscious will to stop something or unconscious habit.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I really couldn't care less. I teach people, just get them in the room. As long as they pay, as long as you're charging at least, say, $500, so there's a major financial commitment, and they pay at least half of that up front to secure the booking, and you don't agree to see them for at least 3 to 4 weeks from when they make the deposit payment, so they truly believe you're incredibly busy, and therefore you must be incredibly good at what you do because you've got a waiting list. When they show up, you get the balance of the money in cash up front or credit card, so they're paid fully up front, so they're fully committed. You make sure that before they even show up at the session, you send them it's what I call it's basically, you could argue it does the hypnosis on them if you were to believe that hypnosis exists, which is the questionnaire I give people. I'm not going to explain all that, but you can download it for free from magicalguru.com, where it says free stuff. Click on free stuff and it'll say download 3 free hypnosis training manuals. And in manual number 1 is the exact questionnaire I send out to clients to get them to fill it in before they come to a session. This gets them to do funky things like it'll say question 1, fill this in block capitals, in black ink. Question number 7 on the list will say, fill this in your normal handwriting in red ink. In other words, there's little tasks in this thing to get them compliant with the questionnaire before it even gets sent through. They've already been told that if they do not fill in this questionnaire correctly, that they will lose their deposit money and will have to pay again to submit another questionnaire. And yes, if they submit it incorrectly, they do lose their deposit money and have to pay again if they want to come.
So
it's amazing how you could argue that shocks.
You do the same kind of stuff as Dr. Seijin Jia, the Chinese guy that does karma cleansings for a certain amount of fee. Oh, I'm going to wave my hands and do this karma cleansing for you, even though you know it's all bullshit.
Well, exactly. It's all bullshit. If people pay enough money and believe it and buy into it, it works. And I've proven this consistently for 25 years.
It doesn't work.
Treating thousands of people, offering a full 100% money back guarantee, and only refunded 2 people in 25 years.
That's because you don't refund money.
It's bullshit.
You don't refund money. If you're not going to refund money, then you're not going to refund money. You're like Tom Silver or Randy Carrick.
No,
I'm the only person that asked Randy Carrick for a refund back for his book.
Someone is scared at the end of my spider therapy. No, simple answer. If people at the end of their session who come for spider phobias, we go to a pet shop. If they don't hold that giant tarantula looking happy, smiling to get their souvenir photo to take away, they would get their money back. It's quite tangible, the result that they're supposed to see at the end of a session, because it has to be for them to concrete that belief system into their head that it's worked for them. Because that's all it is, a change in the human mind, a belief system change. Although the largest element is that people actually want an excuse so that they can leave the therapist room, and when their friends say, wow, you've stopped smoking, or wow, you started doing more exercise and eating healthier foods like we've been telling you should do for years, rather than having to turn round and go, well, you know what, I finally woke up and realised it's all my own bloody fault, I needed to do something about it. They can remove all the guilt, all the self-shame, and all the self-blame away from themselves by seeing the therapist, going through a ritualistic process that seems important, and knowing that if anyone then goes, wow, I've not seen you smoke in months, or, oh, you seem to have stopped drinking like a fish, that rather than them to go, you know what, I was a fool, I could have changed my life sooner, and potentially have people going, well, we did tell you so, they know they can say, you know what, I did have an issue, I needed help with it, and I sought that help, and then, hey, my life's never been better. It removes all the blame, shame, and self-guilt away from the individual.
So what you're doing is more Gestalt therapy or other forms of therapy and just calling it suggestion.
No, what I'm doing is merely taking money off people, advertising in a manner that makes them believe that going through whatever ritualistic bullshit I choose to go through that day, whether it be getting them to tap themselves different places on the face.
You just described that as what you're doing. Just taking money off people and just telling them bullshit. And you're...
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I teach people how to do. Because the thing is, you see, hypnosis is bullshit. And as long as you do some sort of ritual...
I don't believe that. It's certainly your belief. And you're
well,
really
you know, 25 years of results. Over the years, I've done the most extremely bizarre things.
Years of experience, but it's the same damn year 24 times in a row. You know, you're having 25.
Incorrect.
Means nothing.
Because you know what I've done?
The same year over and over again.
I actually do different things on a regular basis. Unlike you guys who are brainwashed and use scripts. For example, ones who use scripts are doing the same thing every time.
You have no idea who I even am or what I do. So please don't tell me that I'm doing something when you don't even know me. You don't know what I'm doing.
If you actually listen to what I said, you see that it was a general statement referring to people who use scripts.
Did I
say it was you, David?
For causing changes in things, and that's great. I think that if you're giving people what they need and making a good living off of it, then I applaud you for that. I think that you're using semantics to kind of hide the techniques of exactly what you're using, and just calling it bullshit.
Hey, nothing to hide. If you go to magicalguru.com and click on free stuff, you can download the study manuals teaching exactly what I do.
I'm not going to download any of your stuff. You're crazy.
No, you're not, because you're stuck in your ways and you think you're right and you're not prepared to learn.
Yeah, you're telling me I know things when you don't even know what I'm doing. I'm stuck in my ways?
But let's put it this way. The moment you say hypnosis exists, that tells me that you're brainwashed into thinking that you're putting people in some altered state when, you know what, you're not.
Well, it tells
there's just as many scientific studies that have proven those
you are just as stuck in your own ways as you're telling me I am in mine. You're saying, it's not going to work. I know it because I've been doing it for 25 years. You've been stuck in your own way for 25 years now.
David, the moment you or anybody can do something with so-called hypnosis that cannot be duplicated with a random person selected randomly off the street who is not put through any hypnotic trance bullshit, is the moment when I may change my mind. But you know what? To this day,
you're not going to change your
mind. Never occurred.
You invested so much time and effort and money into your own little way that you will never change. You're making money off it. Why should you? Why should you? If I were to show you absolutely, positively, without a doubt.
Well, you clearly don't understand internet marketing now, because you know what? If you could show me...
Bullshit. That's just poop and caca. I've been doing this for 25 years, and let me tell you how I do it. If you go and my website...
David, I know your ego is shattered, but 1 second. If you understood internet marketing, you'd know one of the most profitable things that could happen would be me finding evidence that hypnosis was real. Because if I released a product showing that hypnosis was real,
you're not going to
everyone that's ever bought my product,
no scientific knowledge, no scientific method for that.
Bullshit.
You have no scientific method for it. You're just spouting stuff.
All the people who didn't buy the product saying it didn't exist because they didn't want to buy into that would buy a lot of them.
I think we're losing your sound again. Jonathan Royal, I think we're losing your sound again. We can't understand what you're saying. Your image is frozen and we can't understand your sound. So, well, David, you still with me?
Oh, I'm still with you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think he's got a good point that people need to buy into what we're doing.
Absolutely.
For it to really work. That's why the placebo effect works at all. People are going, oh, well, I believe that this is going to happen. I believe I can change. And it's instilling these kinds of beliefs in people is where a hypnotherapy session really gets its power from. Because, I mean, we're oftentimes in hypnotherapy the last resort, where people are chalking off, they're notching their guns. Oh, I've tried this, I've tried this, and I've tried that. And none of this stuff works, so I'm going to try hypnosis next. And I'm with you, JT. If someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I want to stop smoking," and the reason they want to stop smoking is because their wife is making them, that person's not going to stop. They're not going to stop until they buy into it, until they want it for themselves. But to give them tools is what we're all about. We're into the idea of giving them tools. And if you're not giving them tools, if you're just, and Jonathan seems to be giving them tools in simple methods. He's saying, oh, do this survey, write this out in this type of thing, write this out in this type of thing, and getting them to invest time and effort and money into it. And there is a discord there. It's like, well, I'm going to get this result because I've paid for it. And I agree. I agree with him that some people, it's like, why would somebody go to two hypnotherapists if one of them is priced higher, one of them is priced lower? For Americans, we'll think, oh, well, the guy who's priced higher must be better.
Must be better. Absolutely.
Must be better.
Yeah.
So, and people will, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get better because I paid for it. But that's not actually true. They have to get better because they want to get better. They want to receive the benefits of it. And what they come for us for is technique to help instigate that type of change, because they might not know how. And being able to change their minds and change their lives is a powerful focusing agent. Play it safe. Stretching, affirming the positives, finding the focus of your life.
Take a deep breath, David. Take a deep breath.
I'm getting back into that book. Getting into that book.
Well, Jonathan is definitely controversial. Not everything
he likes that. I can tell that's his personality. He doesn't mean any of that stuff he says. He's just saying it to rile people up. He's basically like a Rush Limbaugh or a Glenn Beck or something like that. He doesn't care what he says. He's just saying it so that you'll get into it and disagree with him or agree with him or make some type of animated effort to be in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I give him his moment anyway, he got his arguments out, I think. I'm not sure he had more to say, but
I'm sure he had a lot more to say.
At least what he said very
go on and on. 25 years I've been in her, yeah.
Yeah, so I went ahead and put up his website if anybody wants to go check him out. So there you go, magicalguru.com.
That's right.
That was an interesting guest.